Hi, my name is Adam King, and this is my Module 1 for EDL 850 on school law. A little bit about me. I'm married with two children. My wife is a special education teacher at the elementary level. We've got a 6-year-old daughter and a 1-year-old son, Harper and Truman. My wife and I, we both met at K-State. We were both returning to school to get our teaching licenses after starting our careers in other industries. I was working in finance. My wife was working in graphic design before we found our true passion of working with kids. I've got a bachelor's in business administration with an emphasis on finance. Gotten my master's in business education as well as teaching and learning. This will be my 15th year of teaching high school business. I've taught in a variety of different schools in an urban setting, rural, and currently in a suburban setting at Olathe Northwest High School. Throughout my tenure as an educator, I've been able to teach a wide variety of business and computer classes and well over 20 different courses, several of which I've been able to create from scratch, which I've really enjoyed. I've also been a basketball and football coach from various roles as a freshman assistant all the way up to being a head coach. In 2013, our team went undefeated and won the Kansas 5A state basketball championship. As far as thinking about my time with my administration at Olathe Northwest, and this was just my first year there after spending 10 years at Mill Valley High School, I knew that this was a very challenging job. We had a first time principal who was just starting his second year and had a number of incidents that he had to deal with. We had weapons on or near campus. That he had to involve the police and file different protocols with lockdown procedures. The Westboro Baptist Church wanted to protest on several occasions. They were rained out multiple times, but they kept coming back. He had to coordinate with local law enforcement and make sure that they were able to still have their freedom of speech without preventing students from progressing to school and interfering with the school day. There was kind of a national initiative on the anniversary of Columbine where students led a silent protest. I thought that they did a wonderful job talking to the community about this and preparing for it. Unfortunately, there was some backlash, and a small segment of students then wanted to have a protest about Second Amendment rights. And I know our principal had to spend quite a bit of time dealing with that. To make sure our school is always safe, we did have a gas leak. It caused a mass evacuation and took several hours. Different departments being contacted to make sure the school was safe before we returned. Drugs, alcohol, and tobacco were kind of a persistent problem in the building. Vaping in the bathrooms was one that certainly happened numerous times and had to involve a variety of different suspensions and students being both in school and out of school. Sadly, we had a few suicides in our district, and we continue to educate our staff and our students on how we can best provide support in these terrible times and hopefully preventative measures to ensure that that doesn't happen in the future. There's other issues where staff would probably like to have more information regarding some of their students, both different for both policies and parents wanting to keep things private and confidential prevented us from having all of that information. And I know that our administration had a very difficult task with over 60 new staff to the building, conducting all the teacher evaluations to make sure that they were meeting the needs of the district and all our students. Personally, I have a lot to learn regarding school law. I've always kind of focused on the classroom setting and my particular content much more than school law. But I do know that we're always striving to maintain the least restrictive environment possible. We're going to provide that free and appropriate public education for all our students. Have dealt with many IEPs and been able to provide those modifications and keep things confidential so that those students can thrive as best as possible. Have been exposed to a few truancy cases and trying to make sure that we're getting all of our students in the building and getting the education that they deserve. I've learned a little bit about some of the funding and different ways that we can allocate our funds to hopefully provide better resources for our young students. And kind of a district initiative is really revolving around technology and providing those resources. And all students sign an acceptable use policy, both them and their parents, before they're allowed to have their district issued laptops and iPads. Now, we have worked in Title I schools, both my wife and I, where we have a lot of students receiving those free and reduced lunch and trying to make sure that they're being taken care of both in and outside of school. As far as my plan to hopefully improve, is always to just learn and read and ask questions and find out from people that have more information than myself. I'm hoping that this course will certainly illuminate me on some of the intricacies of school law. And when I'm in the building, there's tons of great resources from our counselors, our administrators, our caseworkers who could certainly assist me in the various nuances of school law. There's school board meetings that are certainly available to be attended and find out the direction that our district is going. And I'm fortunate to have a wonderful resource at home with my wife, who I mentioned is a special education teacher and certainly deals with a few of the more legal ramifications of education than I do teaching high school business. So that's a little bit about me and where I stand right now in regards to school law. I hope everyone has a wonderful 4th of July, and I appreciate your time watching our video. Thank you.